Hey guys, so today we're here to review the brand new Tamron 85mm 1.8 DI VC USD lens. Now this lens has just been released by Tamron and they're making some pretty bold claims about it. And well, we're here to test it out for you. And today we've come to the Rhodes Memorial in Cape Town. It's 30 degrees today in April, beautiful weather, couldn't ask for more. Let's go take a walk around and see what this little lens can do. Okay, so just to give you a quick rundown of the specs on this lens. So obviously it's an 85mm prime. It's got a maximum aperture of f1.8, very handy that. Now this is one of Tamron's SP series lenses, and that means that it is in their more professional series. So it's got all of their top technology built into it. It's got LD and XLD elements, and what those elements basically does is it strives to eliminate most of your chromatic aberration, which is quite inherent in large aperture lenses. In addition to that, it's got E-band and B-bar coatings, and that effectively enhances light transmission while also cutting out a lot of lens flare. Again, handy to have in large aperture lenses. This unit also has the USD focusing motor built in, so that's your ultrasonic silent drive motor. Basically makes your autofocus extremely fast and virtually completely silent. In addition to that, something that is quite nice, your front element in this lens has a fluoride coating on it. Now that's a coating that comes out of Tamron's more industrial division, and effectively it makes your front element on the lens a lot more durable than what you previously had. The fluoride coating makes it extremely moisture resistant and also smudge resistant, so you're far less likely to damage that. And Tamron rates that fluoride coating to last for a good couple of years, so you should be perfectly fine on that. The big addition to this lens that nobody else is doing at the moment is the VC. So that's Tamron's stabilizer technology. Now that's quite a big thing in a lens like this. It makes it the first DSLR-based 85mm large aperture lens to actually have a stabilized system built into it. Now that basically gives you an extra couple of stops to play with when you're shooting in low light. You can drop your shutter speed lower and still maintain stability. Now that stabilizer coupled with the 1.8 aperture really makes this lens a low light monster. So to run this lens through its paces, we've brought along the lovely Rita here to model for us. And a big question with this lens is, where does it actually fit into the lens lineup? And that makes it a little bit tricky, because a lens like this, it is an 85 1.8, it has all the technology built into it, but at the end of the day, it is comparatively expensive when you compare it to other 85mm 1.8 lenses on offer. Now, the direct competition for this lens would be something like your Canon 85 1.8. That lens goes for about 6,000 to 7,000 Rand. Also the Nikon 85mm 1.8. Now that lens is around about 11,000 Rand. Now this lens, there isn't official pricing on it yet, but it's expected to be around about the 16,000 Rand mark. And that poses quite a bit of a little bit of a conundrum. Is it worth the extra money going from one of your Canon or Nikon lenses up to this one? Now a lot of other reviewers have gone out and pitted this lens against other lenses that are a category above it. And these reviewers come back and they say, yes, well, this lens is, almost as good as what those lenses are, so it's definitely something to consider. And yes, from what I've seen in trying this lens, it is absolutely fantastic. The clarity is beautiful, the sharpness is great. But the type of person who is looking at a 70,000 Rand lens and can afford that and is willing to pay that to get the absolute quality is not really going to take a step down to a lens that goes for about 16,000 Rand and have almost that quality. So what I'm going to do today is compare it against something that's a little bit more directly comparative, and that is the Canon 85 1.8. With the idea that if you're looking at an 85 1.8 and you are looking at the Canon 85 or the Nikon 85, is the Tamron worth the extra money due to the extra technology that's in there? So we're going to shoot some pictures of Rita over here. Comparing the two lenses side by side, we're going to throw some side-by-side shots up for you, and you'll be able to make that distinction, hopefully. So let's have a look. Okay, so right now we're shooting at f1.8. We're focusing on Rita's eye, and I'm going to shoot with the Tamron and then take the exact same shot with the Canon 85 1.8, and we'll compare the two side by side, see what we got. Side by side comparison in general sharpness, both lenses exceptionally sharp. Nothing really to separate them here. And you'll see that both give pretty good color rendition. If anything, the Tamron is probably a little bit more contrasty, but all in all, in a shot like this, both lenses will serve you pretty well. Okay, so let's try a couple of full-length shots just to check the distortion, and you'll also be able to see the background compression in these shots. Let's have a look. So taking this full-length shot in slightly more challenging lighting conditions, you'll see that, again, both lenses, sharpness is really good. The Tamron again comes across as being a little bit more contrasty than what the Canon is. But this is where it gets really interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in. So what you'll see here is, if we look at the Canon first, you'll see that there's some pretty significant purple fringing, which is just a chromatic aberration that occurs in very high contrasty conditions. So between the shadow and the white of Rita's shirt, you can see a massive section of purple fringing there. In the Tamron, that is completely non-existent, and that's basically down to Tamron's XLD elements that are in the lens, and the whole idea behind those elements are to remove purple fringing, and I mean, I'd say it does a pretty good job. I mean, just look at the results there. So for this shot, we're shooting literally downhill. Focus is going to be on the central subject matter, the little statue of the guy on the horse there. Essentially, again, a little bit of a distortion test. You'll see all the lines running straight down in the shot. For the first shot, I'm focusing on the center subject at f1.8, and then I'm going to bump it up just to see what we get out of this. What you'll also see in this shot is this is the perfect place to pick up if there's any vignetting on it. So obviously a full frame body with a full frame capable lens, you're bound to get a little bit of vignetting when you're shooting at 1.8. Okay, so this shot is just with the Tamron. So left-hand side is f1.8, right-hand side is at f8. You'll see both give really good rendition. Something that I personally quite like about the Tamron is it's very good at picking a subject out of the background. So shooting at f1.8, your background separation is really well. The f8 shot, you've got good sharpness throughout, good depth in it. You still get a little bit of background separation, which is nice. Again, a very contrasty lens at f1.8. So let's put them up with comparing these shots against similar shots taken with the Canon. So now you'll see the vignetting that the Tamron produces compared to what the Canon produces. And I'd say the Tamron probably vignettes a little bit more than what the Canon does, but the Tamron is again a lot more contrasty than what you get from the Canon. The Canon definitely produces a slightly more flat image. If you compare the f1.8 shots against each other, it definitely seems as though the Tamron picks the subject matter out a little bit better, gives you better background separation than what you get out of the Canon. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick little close-up here of Rita. Just do like a headshot so you can see the bokeh that this lens delivered. And we're going to again compare it to the Canon version and just see what we get. Look at that fantastic bokeh that's created in the background. Now, for me, the Tamron's bokeh is a little bit more pleasing than what you get from the Canon. The Tamron's a little bit smoother in terms of its bokeh production than what you get in the Canon. The other major thing here is the differentiation between the two lenses in terms of its color bleed that you get. And that you'll pick up where the hair sort of joins into the background. Now, the Tamron still gives you very good definition there. With the Canon, it gets a little bit muddy. And yeah, I mean, that's just down to your optical quality there. Again, definitely a section where the Tamron comes out on top compared to the Canon. So that wraps up our review of the Tamron 85 1.8 DI VC USD lens. Out of the testing today, it is an incredibly sharp lens. And again, not just a sharp lens for the money or a sharp lens compared to other Tamron lenses. it is flat out a sharp lens. The autofocus is beautifully fast and completely silent, which I know a lot of guys will absolutely love. Personally, I love the bokeh that this lens produces, which you'll see in the headshots that we put up earlier. Absolutely fantastic. It's smooth. It gives you beautiful, just blurred out backgrounds, which, I absolutely love. And I think that personally, that comes out a little bit better than what you get on the Canon lens. The elephant in the room though, is it worth the extra money? Is it worth literally an extra 10,000 Rand on the Canon lens or an extra 6,000 Rand over the Nikon lens? In my opinion, absolutely yes. If you want the extra quality, but you're not willing to spend 70,000 Rand on a Zeiss Otis, yes, absolutely get this lens. You will love it. The quality is beautiful. The build quality is fantastic. Definitely a step up for Tamron, moving in the right direction there. Well guys, thank you for joining us here in the beautiful Cape Town. And as always, if you enjoyed this review and would like to see more of it, please drop us a like and subscribe to our channel. And as always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment. We'd love hearing from you guys. Thank you very much.